Good morning, everybody, and welcome to race number 2 of TCR South American Championship. Banco BRB. We're live from Velocità in Mogi Guaçu districts in the state of Sao Paulo. A beautiful morning to complete one more round in this championship. Beautiful, beautiful Sunday morning as we are reaching 10 a.m. here where this track is located, and we are getting ready for race number 2, the race with the inverted grid that has Nelson Piquet Jr. on pole position, joined by TCR trophy leader in the qualifying, Enzo Gianfratti. Here we have the entrance. We don't have Thiago Pernia this weekend following the logistic issues he had to face when flying to Brazil and was back in Argentina. And everything is set for race number 2. We'll head into the grid with our reporter Letícia Datena.
Bom domingo de TCR aqui diretamente do grid do Velocità. Essa é a segunda corrida do fim de semana aqui, que vai encerrar a segunda etapa da TCR Brasil e a 8ª etapa da TCR South America Banco BRB. Olha só, ontem nós já tivemos uma corrida bem emocionante, bem movimentada. Quem largou na pole position foi o Léo Reis, mas a gente sabe que a largada aqui na TCR é um pouco desafiadora. Ele acabou ficando para trás e quem levou a melhor foi o Pedro Cardoso. Foi a primeira vitória do Pedro Cardoso na TCR Brasil, apesar dele ser o atual campeão da categoria. Ele levou o título o ano passado, olha, sem vencer nenhuma corrida na TCR Brasil. Mas quem está largando aqui na primeira posição hoje é o Nelsinho Piquet, por causa da inversão do grid. Nelsinho, fala um pouquinho aí da sua expectativa, você que está tendo uma jornada dupla esse fim de semana.
Escolhi um final de semana meio quente para fazer isso.
It's a bit hot this weekend.
Mas, enfim, tá sendo difícil, mas pensar pelo outro lado, a gente vai largar em primeiro aqui.
It's a challenging weekend.
Que não é muito fácil.
It's not easy to start here.
Ontem foi um dia difícil. Na Stock teve uma batida no começo, então não conseguimos terminar bem. Mas hoje estamos com pista livre na frente, temos que aproveitar esse ventinho na cara para a gente aproveitar e tentar ter 2 resultados bons.
Tá certo, muito boa sorte pro Nelson Piquet, eu volto com vocês.
Was saying Nelson Piquet Jr. Therefore, we're hopeful that this can be positive. That's what he says. He expects that the clean air ahead of him will help in the development of the race. As we said, needless to say again, it's a very hot weekend here in Velocità. A very warm place, therefore we'll have loads of issues with the atmosphere conditions. TCR Trophy is led by Adrián Chiriano, as the layout explains, but Enzo Gianfratti, who is in second place in the tournament, will start in front row ahead of Marcos Regadas, who is back this weekend, back in duties. And it means that certainly this will be a big challenge for Gianfratti. Ninkoter Chiriano and Fernando Croce, the other 3 entrants of TCR Trophy, are starting in the back of the grid. That means Gianfratti should be able to build a nice gap in TCR Trophy to his rivals. As Regadas simply is not influencing the battle because he's only entering the season in this weekend. This is the third last event of the year. Let's hear from more on the grid with Rafael Reis. Go ahead, Leti.
A TCR Brasil tem um novo líder, é o Rafael Reis. Ele está largando um pouquinho mais aqui do
TCR
meio
Brasil
do
has a
grid
new
hoje.
leader, Rafael
Mas,
Reis.
Rafael, falar um pouquinho sobre a sua expectativa, levando em consideração
Please tell us
as
about your
condições que você
expectations.
já está experimentando esse fim de semana aqui na Velocitar.
Ontem uma corrida muito boa, a gente conseguiu terminar em terceiro no TCR Sul-América.
I managed to be third in TCR South America yesterday.
Hoje uma corrida com muito calor. Ontem o desgaste de pneu já foi muito sério.
Yesterday it was
Acho que hoje vai ser ainda maior, então acho que quem
very
conseguir
hard for
cuidar
the
disso
tires.
melhor vai ter um bom resultado no final da corrida.
Muito obrigada,
But we
boa
hope we
sorte
get
para
a
você,
good
eu volto com
result in the
vocês.
race. Says Rafael Reis, whose young brother Leonardo Reis set pole position yesterday, but stalled on the grid when he was a strong candidate to fight for the win.
Sobe a placa de 3, sobe. Mostra a placa de 3.
3 minutes for the beginning of the race.
Pedindo os portões, levem equipamentos, liberem porque a placa de 3, a volta de apresentação e ao contrário do turismo de largada lançada, essa é a largada parada, estilo fórmula.
Here is Marcos Regadas, as we said, the driver that was returning to the race in this to the series in this weekend. Here is the TCR Trophy leader on the grid, Enzo Gianfrati. Behind him is here Regadas. So second and third place on the grid are entrants of TCR Trophy. As we said, Nelson Piquet Jr., who qualified in 10th, got the reverse grid pole. Here is Gennaro Rossetto. He starts in 5th place behind Juan Angel Rosso from Paladini Racing, who very smartly decided to swap the engine yesterday.
Momento de expectativa, cada piloto ali.
So he started the penalty already in race 1 after qualifying in 7th, and now he is here in 4th place with 2 TCR Trophy competitors ahead of him and only Nelson Piquet Jr. from TCR South America. So this should give him a good perspective for the race.
Esse hormônio que nos impulsa. A adrenalina é aquela que faz o coração bater mais forte, o sangue circular mais rápido.
And here is Rafael Reis.
Nós, para o nosso impulso. E além disso, a adrenalina é um hormônio bom. Hormônio bom. Adrenalina. Placa de 1. Sobe lá, menina. Olha a placa de 1.
As you can see, it's a very hot temperature. The track temperature is over 100 Fahrenheit degrees, 40 Celsius degrees. 28 Celsius degrees is way over 85 Fahrenheit degrees, depending on where you are in the world. And now we are getting in the last seconds countdown to the formation lap.
Agora sim, vai rodar o
Here's Gianfrati starting in 2nd place.
movimento do safety car. Volta de apresentação.
Now it's time to go in Velocità. The formation lap is underway. We'll head to the starting grid, led by Nelson Piquet Jr., as we explained, with the reverse grid pole position after qualifying in 10th yesterday for Honda YPF Racing. Enzo Gianfrati possibly targeting the win overall with G Racing Motorsport Cupra, starting 2nd, leading TCR Trophy. Marcos Regadas starting 3rd in his comeback to the series, the man born in Maranhão State. Juan Angel Rosso in 4th for Paladini Racing, another one that should have good chances for the win. Gennaro Rossetto possibly targeting his maiden podium in the series. We'll see from 5th place on the grid for PMO Racing. Fabian Gianantuoni starts in 6th for Paladini Racing in another Lincoln Co., followed by Rafael Reis, who finished on the podium yesterday, in 7th for W2 Pro GP. Pedro Cardoso in 8th place the reigning champion for PMO Racing. Ahead of him, Leonel Pernilla is behind. In 9th, Leonardo Reis, yesterday's pole sitter, one of the youngest pole sitters ever in TCR South America, starts in 10th. Mariano Pernilla behind for Honda YPF Racing. Marian Encotter in 12th for Cobra Racing. Adrian Chiriano in 13th for Honda YPF Racing. And in 14th place, Fernando Croce for Pod Hack Racing. Here are the cars heading to the starting grid. This race should be really challenging. It's already really hot in Mogi Guazu districts in Sao Paulo. And here is Enzo Gianfrati. He will start in second, taking second spot on the grid. Regadas in third. Behind is Rosso in fourth. As you can see, the rows are slowly forming up on the grid.
Vai parar o último carro, vai passar a bandeira verde. Atenção.
Everything is ready. Green flag waving in the background. And the race will start in Velocita. Here is the lights. And we'll go racing in Velocita. Lights are red and now we go racing in Velocita. Rafael Reis stops on the grid, so does Leonardo Reis. And Gianfrati stops as well. That's a disaster for him, as Nelson Piquet Jr. heads into the lead, followed by Gian Antoni, who will take second. Juan Angel Rosso battles with Regadas for third place. Pernilla already up into fifth. Solid starts by the standings leader, as Regadas keeps battling with Rosso for third position. Comfortable lead for Piquet Jr. in the meantime, and Regadas and Rosso are colliding once again. Both go off. Both are going off the track, and they missed the wall, I think. I don't know, Juan Angel Rosso. Regadas is back on track. I couldn't see Rosso again as he crashed into the barriers. It's over for Juan Angel Rosso. Disaster for him in the start of the race. As it's over for him, I think we'll have a safety car now, as Cardoso is already up into third, followed by the drivers behind. We have Cardoso in a third position. And we have a safety car here. The race has been neutralized, as we saw Leonardo Reis ahead of Marian Encotter. Here is the race put on hold. Juan Angel Rosso's car. He was trying to help the rescue truck. Let's have a look at the replay. You will see Enzo Gianfrati stalling on the front row. The same for, I think, one of the PMO Peugeots. I think it's Raceto. And then Juan Angel Rosso diving into the inside to overtake Regadas. And there is Regadas and Rosso, both tangled and then head off track. Rosso couldn't avoid hitting the tire barrier. Both went off. And there is Rosso without any chances of braking. Oh, that's a very heavy slam into the barrier. We didn't see that at first. He's okay out of the car, but certainly a really bad ending of the weekend for him. Go on board with Rosso having a replay of what happened. That's a replay of the spin he had. Piquets, Gianantuoni, and Rasetto, the 13 cars running. Rosso is out and the race is back in. Green flag. Here we are once again at full speed in Velocità, enjoying race number 2 of TCR South America as Rafael Reis goes into the inside, overtaking Mariano Pernilla. So he's trying to do Regadas. Another contacts. Regadas this time with Mariano Pernilla. Pernilla survived in his position, but now Regadas is under threats from Rafael Reis, Leonardo Reis, sorry, and Chiriano back one position. And now Regadas under serious threat once again. Gianantuoni defending from Cardoso in second position. The Peugeot trying to overtake the Lincoln Co. as we head into the twisty section of turns 6th and 7th. Here's the braking in the hairpin. Gianantuoni defending from Cardoso. And now there is the option that he will have to defend. Gianantuoni in second as Piquet is slowly starting to pull away. Gianantuoni in second, Piquet slowly pulling away over half of a second. Let's have a look at the restarts. You can see Regadas diving into the inside with Mariano Pernilla, who defended and then had these contacts. Rafael Reis in first and then Regadas trying to overtake Pernilla. That contacts possibly did some damage in car number 55 of Squadra of Honda YPF Racing, formerly known as Squadra Martino. 24 minutes remaining. Lionel Pernilla here defending from Rafael Reis. There is Reis in cars number 77. Battling for the lead of the tournaments, but Pernilla is already ahead. Up into fourth position. Reis trying to overtake after passing Mariano Pernilla. .23 minutes remaining. We have only one car out of the race, Juan Angel Rosso, after that contact with Marcos Regadas. We'll see if there is any investigation going on. .22 minutes. Then Lionel Pernilla completed one more lap. Piquet leading for 1.3 seconds over Gianantuoni. Half a second of advantage from Gianantuoni to the third one. In the race, I'm talking about Pedro Cardoso. Lionel Pernilla in fourth. Reis, Mariano Pernilla, and Regadas here with some kind of spin. I'm talking about Gennaro Rasetto here. Regadas in seventh, leading TCR Trophy. Rasetto managed to stay on the track despite that little spin of the track. And now he's back racing. He's up into 10th place. Ahead of Nincoter, Chiriano and Croce. He'll try to overtake Enzo Gianfratti if he can. Leonardo Reis here in 8th place after starting from 10th. Regadas defending his position. Regadas locking up the brakes ahead of Leonardo Reis. That was Enzo Gianfrati in ninth place. Ahead of him was Leonardo Reis. Piquet keeping the gap over a bit more than a second over his driver behind, Gian Antuoni. Cardoso in third, Lionel Pernier in fourth, and Rafael Reis is in fifth position as we've completed almost a third of the race, including the safety car period. Lionel Pernier defending from Rafael Reis. "20 minutes completed right now." Lionel Pernier defending from Rafael Reis. They had identical lap times in the last lap, 1:31.1 for both. 34.7 was the last lap for Nelson Piquet Jr. A tenth of a second was Gian Antuoni quicker. And we have a black flag for Marcos Regadas for that contact. He is out of the race in the standings. He might be still on track, but he's no longer in the series. In the race, I mean, after he's come back into the series. In the meantime, Lionel Pernier defending from Rafael Reis, who seems to be strong enough to contest for that position. We are approaching the half of the race completed. In the meantime, Piquet keeps the lead from Gian Antuoni. He seems to be managing the pace well. Leonardo Reis here overtaking Regadas, and here comes Marcos Regadas to retire from the race after the black flag. That's for the incident with Juan Angel Rosso. Hard punishment for him, and it is what it is. Look at the contact he has also. And we have now 12 cars on track. Mariano Pernia here in sixth position, one of his season's highest. Leonardo Reis is there in seventh position behind Mariano Pernia. Behind him is Enzo Gianfrati, now leading TCR Trophy after the black flag shown to Marcos Regadas. And this means good news for him as Marianin Cotter is ahead of Adrian Chiriano. Certainly that means that Gianfrati can cut some points on the gap. As Leonardo Reis wants to go for fifth position right now in the hands of Mariano Pernia. Sixth position. He locked up the brakes. Pernia holding up Reis, Gianfrati, and Gennaro Rossetto back in the battle after all the trouble he had. There's Mariano Pernia in a 6th position. Piquet extending the lead to 2 seconds over Gianantoni now. Cardoso in 3rd, and there is Rasetto diving into the inside of Gianfrati. Gianfrati doesn't need to have some rough battle. There is Cardoso trying to go for 2nd position over Gianantuoni, who is 2 seconds behind the leader, Nelson Piquet Jr., who is having a very comfortable time at the lead of the race as far as now. Now we enter in the second half of the race, and we'll see what kind of effect the weather produces in the cars. It's a very hot morning, and it's only 10:27 a.m. in Brazil. Gianantuoni still surviving in 2nd position, despite Cardoso was quite quicker in the last lap, as you can see on the screen. Gianantuoni here completing one more lap in 2nd position, 3 seconds almost behind Nelson Piquet Jr., who was 9/10 of a second quicker in the last lap, 1:35.9. And here is Gennaro Rasetto locking up the brakes against Leonardo Reis. Leonardo Reis in 7th place. Here defending from Rasetto in 8th. There we have Cardoso battling. Mariano Pernia holding up the rest of the pack, as you can see. Here Gianantuoni almost 3 seconds behind. He lost 2 more tenths in sectors 1 and 2. Nelson Piquet Jr. set the fastest lap on lap 3. Let's go on board with the leader. Gianantuoni here defending, as he cannot compete with the pace of Nelson Piquet Jr. as we saw in the last lap. Also half a second quicker was Piquet Jr. Now the gap is 3.5 seconds. Therefore it looks Gianantuoni here braking half a second slower was in the previous lap than the leader. So now Nelson Piquet Jr. is about to complete one more lap. We have 11 laps completed now here in Velocità. Cardoso here in third, holding up Leonel Pernilla, but still can't overtake. Also trying to survive in the battle for the title, but with these results, we could have a champion next round. Raseto here in 8th place. Ten minutes remaining. We are entering the final third of the race. Minutes remaining. Cardoso still in third position, holding up Leonel Pernilla. This is the battle for the title. Cardoso way behind. Pernilla with a comfortable perspective of clinching the title in next round. It will be held in mid-November. Here's Nelson Piquet Jr. leading comfortably. The race will go to Goiânia in November 14th, 15th and 16th. Then we head to Interlagos in December to complete the season. Joining in these four events with the very prestigious Brazilian Stock Car Championship. Racing. Here's Pernilla diving into the grass to avoid a contact that could do any damage to both cars. 5 seconds of gap between Piquet and Gian Antoni. Now it's Leonel Pernilla putting all the pressure on Pedro Cardoso, and this could be significant for the title battle. Cardoso leaves a little bit of room, and Pernilla heads into the main straight, trying to jump into third place. As Piquet completes a lap, Cardoso touches the grass, and Leonel Pernilla will jump into third place of the race behind Fabian Gianantoni, who remains in second. And here is the standings leader. Cardoso wants to strike back, but Pernilla firmly goes into the inside. A little contact by the Peugeot, and now Cardoso trying to regain third place, but Leonel Pernilla is defending. Cardoso goes into the inside, and he has to touch the grass a bit. Pernilla defending well from the Brazilian, the reigning champion. And in the last 6 minutes of the race, we have a big battle for third place in Velocità. Once again, Cardoso having a look at the inside. Now on the outside, Rafael Reis is behind. As we have here the replay. Slight contacts from Cardoso. Pernia once again ahead in third place. Cardoso keeping his podium in TCR Brasil, but losing the podium in TCR South America. Nelson Piquet Jr. leading for 5 seconds of gap, but it's still lapping quicker and quicker than Gian Antuoni. 2/10 in the last sector, in sector 2 in this lap number 15, which they are about to complete now. Remember, the race is 30 minutes plus 1 lap. Big battle between Pernia and Cardoso in the previous lap. 3 more tenths of a second opened by Piquet, but the laps have been already 3 seconds slower than at first, than in the beginning of the race. Nelson Piquet Jr. leading really comfortably, about to get a win in TCR South America. Let's go on board with the leader. Piquet Jr. here completing one more lap in a few minutes, in a few seconds. Gian Antuoni comfortably in second place. Pernia ahead of Cardoso, and after overtaking him, he's lapped visibly quicker. 2 tenths in sector 1, 2 more tenths in sector 2.
É isso. A Maria Mercória é da Cobra Racing. Sim.
Pedro Cardoso here defending 4th place from Rafael Reis. Still 3 minutes remaining in this race. We have 12 cars running after the contacts from Marcos Regadas to Juan Angel Rosso that led to the crash of Rosso and then the disqualification of Regadas. Raceto still in 7th. Behind him is Enzo Gianfrati, leading TCR Trophy. Last 2 minutes of the race, Gianfrati trying to attack Gennaro Raceto and climbing up one more position, trying to get 7th place, having a better speed out into the main straights.
Já passou, tá faltando a Maria passar agora.
Here's the battle. Gianfratti resisting. Rasetto attacking for 7th position, and Gianfratti is ahead. Gianfratti now in 7th. Cardoso here resisting in 4th place after being overtaken by Leonel Pernilla. The reigning champion trying to stay alive in the battle for the 2025 title. Rafael Reis, as they're approaching him. Will Reis go for 4th place? We'll see in a few seconds. Nelson Piquet Jr. about to open the second last lap. There is Nelson Piquet Jr., who is leading very, very comfortably and simply has to take the car home, and he will get another win in TCR South America. 15 seconds remaining. This will mean we are in the second last lap of the race. Gianantoni 7 seconds behind, 0.6 of a second slower. And here is Reis overtaking, or trying to overtake, better said, to go for 4th place in the hands of Pedro Cardoso now. Here is Rafael Reis in 5th position behind Pedro Cardoso. Last 2 laps of the race, and Nelson Piquet Jr. will get another win in TCR South America. It's a solid battle still. Reis doesn't give up on the hopes of moving one more place up. Last 2 laps for this man, for Nelson Piquet Jr. About to get his first win in the series. As Nelson Piquet Jr. is on the final lap of the race, trying to get his first win of the year. He was second in Termas de Riondo, he was second in Mercedes, he was second in El Pinar, second in Belo Horizonte in the last round, second in Rosario in the first. And now Nelson Piquet Jr. takes the checker flag. A massive, massive win for Nelson Piquet Jr. in TCR South America, finally celebrating his maiden win in the season. Gianantoni comes home in second. Leonel Pernilla heads into the podium. And finally, Nelson Piquet Jr. celebrates his win in TCR South America. Comfortably won here in Velocità. Fantastic job. Here are the final results. Nelson Piquet Jr., Fabian Gianantuoni and Leonel Pernia in the podium. Pedro Cardoso in 4th, completing the podium in TCR Brasil ahead of Rafael Reis. Leonardo Reis, Enzo Gianfrati winning TCR Trophy ahead of Gennaro Rossetto and Mariano Pernia. Marianne Cotter in 10th, possibly her career highest in TCR South America, 2nd place in TCR Trophy. Adrian Chiriano completing the TCR Trophy podium ahead of Fernando Croce. Juan Angel Rosso was forced to retire after the contact with Marcos Regadas, who was disqualified, black flagged after that incident. Here is our race winner, Nelson Piquet Jr. Celebrating with Honda YPF Racing. Here's our race winner. An amazing win for Nelson Piquet Jr. A very solid pace throughout all the race. His best lap was half a second faster than anybody else on track. Celebrating. There is Sebastián Martino, the team director and team owner.
Estamos aqui secretariados hoje pelo aniversariante do dia.
For Gianantuoni, it's another podium. He finished 3rd in Vigicum, both races. He won in Termas de Rio Hondo in race number 2. He was 2nd in race number 2 in Belo Horizonte. And now he finishes once again in the podium in second. Here is our winner, Nelson Piquet Jr., heading into the checker flag.
Fim de semana desafiador, mas conseguiu. Nelsinho Piquet, parabéns pela primeira vitória na TCR South America. Fala um pouquinho, enfim, do que aconteceu hoje na pista. Parabéns.
Bom, obrigado. Acho que eu queria começar meio que agradecendo, dedicando essa vitória para um grande amigo meu, que é o motivo que eu tô aqui hoje, que é o Marquinhos Regadas. Ele que me incentivou de vir para a TCR, que ele correu ano passado, gostou muito da categoria. Ele que me ajudou com os patrocinadores, junto com a Honda, Motu e todo mundo. Então, Marquinhos, obrigado. E a gente bateu na trave várias vezes esse ano. E, enfim, finalmente chegou num dia muito quente, Daqui a pouco eu vou ter que sentar mais uma hora no Stock Car. A gente vai largar na primeira fila de novo, então espero fazer uma boa largada com a gente fez aqui. E é isso, agradecer todo mundo aí mesmo. Tava demorando, já tava ficando pra lá desfrustrado, esperando a primeira vitória na TCR.
Parabéns, talento brasileiro. Vamos agora à cerimônia do pódio.
Congratulations, let's head into the podium.
Estamos hablando de la carrera, no de la vida personal. Eu não penso que você é mala persona.
No, hoy por 8 segundos está hablando de
Pero porque trabajamos.
Y nosotros no trabajamos, ellos no trabajan.
Están trabajando mal. Están trabajando mal.
Vale, todos trabajan mal y tú trabajas bien.
Discussion going on the race between Leonel Pernilla and Pedro Cardoso.
Habilitou o driver para Pedro Cardoso.
Here's Pedro Cardoso.
Chamamos para premiar o driver of the weekend.
Driver of the weekend.
Vieira, gerente comercial dos novos negócios da Delicom, para entregar ao piloto Pedro Cardoso. E agora anunciamos o pódio TCR Social-Media-Kanäle Racing 2. Atenção, terceiro colocado, Leonel Pernilla. Segundo,
Leonel Pernilla here.
E Antuoni. Melhor equipo, Honda IPF Racing.
Fabian Gianantuoni in second.
E o primeiro colocado ao pódio, Nelsinho Piquet. Chamamos também
And here's our winner, Nelson Piquet Jr.
South America, Enzo Gianfranchi. Ao pódio, Enzo Gianfranchi.
Enzo Gianfranchi here, the winner of TCR Trophy.
O hino do país vencedor. O hino nacional brasileiro. Aí está a celebração comemorativa.
Brazilian anthem has passed.
Superintendente do Autódromo de Brasília, DRB, para entregar primeiramente ao terceiro colocado, Leonel Pernilla.
Time for the trophies. Fernando Distrecci
Distrecci entrega para o
from
segundo
Brasilia
colocado,
Circuits,
Fabian Antoni.
giving the trophies to Leonel Pernilla, to Fabian Gianantuoni,
Para a melhor equipe,
to
Honda IPF Racing.
the winning team also.
E para o campeão Nelson Piquet.
And Nelson Piquet Jr. now.
No lugar mais alto, vencedor da corrida South America, corrida 2. Chamamos Felipe McGough, promotor TCR, para entregar ao piloto South America Trophy, Enzo Gianfranchi.
Handing the trophy to Enzo Gianfranchi, is Argentina's and Uruguay promoter for TCR, Mr. Felipe Magov.
Parabéns, pilotos. Ergam os troféus para a foto oficial.
Trophies up in the air.
Ergam os troféus nos seus lugares. Ergam os troféus. Ergam os os troféus. Parabéns, parabéns. Para a foto de pódio, ok? Isso, essa foto fica boa. Muito obrigado. Valeu, pilotos. É o banho do champanhe no pódio.
Now time for the champagne, as we'll head later into the TCR Brasil podium and also TCR Trophy podium.
Muito obrigado, pilotos.
Vou largar bem e tal. Eu não fui tão confiante que eu fui, caralho, vou largar.
Here's the TCR Trophy podium also.
Então, dá merda.
Mariano Elcotter talking with Enzo Gianfratti, Mariano Ciriano.
Mas tá bom também. Fazer o quê?
Eu descobri ontem que dá pra escutar tudo. Eu não sabia que dá pra escutar tudo.
Sério?
Assim, perfeito.
Sério?
Eu vi o PN, tava brigando aqui, eu lembrei disso depois.
Foi pra aprender também, né?
Pedro Cardoso here in TCR Brasil podium.
Anunciamos nesse momento a premiação da TCR Brasil Racing 2. Corrida 2. Chamamos ao pódio o terceiro colocado, Pedro Cardoso.
Third place
Segundo
for Pedro
colocado,
Cardoso.
Fabian
Fabian Gianantuoni.
Equipe Honda IPF Racing. E o primeiro colocado ao pódio TCR Brasil, Nelsinho Piquet.
Yeah, they confused the spots on the podium, and Nelson Piquet Jr. once again winning.
Também ao pódio, Enzo Gianfratti.
And in trophy division, the win is for Enzo Gianfratti.
Chamamos agora o senhor Carlos Lee, da Hankook Pneus Brasil, ele que é o presidente. Carlos Hankook entrega para o terceiro colocado, Pedro Cardoso.
Carlos Lee, president of Hankook, the tire provider.
Senhor Carlos entrega agora para o segundo colocado, Fabian Gianantuoni. Para a melhor equipe, Honda IPF Racing. E ao vencedor da corrida, senhor Carlos.
Trophies also for the winning team and for Nelson Piquet Jr.
Parabéns, pilotos. Convidamos agora Vinícius Pereira, da TCR Brasil, para entregar ao vencedor da corrida da Trophy, também brasileiro, Enzo Gianfratti.
And the trophy by Vinicius Pereira from TCR Brasil to Enzo Gianfratti for the win in TCR Trophy division in TCR Brasil. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a wrap-up from here from Velocita. We'll head to Goiânia in November for the next round of TCR South America Banco BRB. Thank you very much for being with us. My name is Francisco Aure. It's been a pleasure and see you soon.
Isso. Parabéns. Juntem-se agora ao lugar mais alto do pódio, da confraternização do pódio. Dá lugar mais alto. Ok. Aí estão os vencedores da TCR Brasil. Corrida 2, BRB.